Good morning, people. Just going to add this Facebook Live to a few groups. Hopefully, people will find it. Please feel free after this or during to tag and share this transmission, this download of channeling energy, light language, source code consciousness. To anyone that may benefit at this time. Yeah, to anyone that may benefit at this time. Give me a second. So good morning, people. How are you doing? Wow, the energy has been pretty fast and furious. I've had a couple of... Hey, Carolina. Hey, Melissa. Nice to see you here. Yeah, I've had a couple of crazy days energetically. Coming out the other side of it this morning as we kind of settle again. From the intensity that has been coming up with this new frequency that's been coming in. Yeah, Amanda Lawrence did a beautiful share. Check hers out this morning. I listened to it. Always full-hearted and compassionate as always. Thank you for your work, Amanda. And also, I guess, a little inspired me to hop on this morning to share my piece of the puzzle, if you will, in my own way of working. And so, as many of you know, I have a strong connection with Egypt. I feel this time of the year is often very intense for some of us that have had experiences within that timeline, especially as we anchor in around the 8-8 portal, the new galactic year. It's also a very amplified frequency at this time for potential change, but also can bring up a lot of cellular memory. I feel cellular memory of a difficult time in Egypt, and I guess that's what I wanted to just briefly tune in with and bring in some clearing energy work this morning. If anyone's going through a little bit of personal volcanoes or turbulence at this time, I was given the visual of blood streaming down the Nile. Yeah, blood streaming down the Nile. And so quite a strong image, quite a strong visual. And I feel like this is related to a downfall of the gods, if you will, a downfall of the corrupt powers that were controlling and overseeing the mystery schools, and as time went on, there was an energetic distortion that rippled through the attachment of many darker energies or entities, if you will, that hijacked many of the higher priests and god frequencies at that time, and there was eventually cataclysmic war and many deaths. Yeah, which was a necessary blank slating of the corruption and the frequencies that were no longer serving the people or the timeline. Yeah, So I feel like at this moment in time, as we delve deeper into ourselves through the emergence of higher frequencies that are coming into the planet, this is a time where we are uh, going into the depths of ourselves. Into the depths of ourselves, into the depths of our karmic template, and particularly this time of the year, the Egyptian aspect of ourselves. Yeah. Or the Egyptian aspect of the trauma that is held in the grids of the earth, especially around Egypt. Yeah. But this goes as far as Australia and other places in the world as well. It's not just in that general location. Yeah. So, um, so these energies that are bringing up a lot of vitriol, really, in people, whether it's directed at the self or whether it's directed at others, because they are triggering some deep energies that are ready to be held internally. The only way that we are going to move out of the time of polarization is to neutralize our own polarization. But first we have to see it, feel it, and know it within. So I guess in the last few days I had a lot of rage, a lot of rage that was not really way beyond what was necessary to anything that happened in my environment, and and also a sense of wanting vengeance against perpetrators. Yeah. So I just want to work with that energy right now, because it's been coming up for me, and I feel clearer today, so I feel in a good space to be able to support others with it. But this is where that old starseed lightworker kind of narrative of persecution of self, persecution of the intrinsic energy that we are, and this flows through from other lifetimes. And I know people might be saying, why is he always harping on about this persecution business? Well, if that doesn't resonate with you, go elsewhere, my loves. Yeah, go elsewhere. Some of us are still working through that template, and some of us will always have that template within them to be dissolving at deeper levels, so that they can step up much further into their soul work, because as we step up further and further, there are initiations, challenges, and also beings that wish us not to move forward and uplift the collective consciousness. So I am revisiting this topic today because I feel like it's relevant for this moment. And so I just want to bring through a little energy for the clearing of the central channel. I'm going to work with this tiger iron. It's tiger iron. I posted a piece earlier in the week. It's like tiger's eye, but a little different. A little different in matrix. And I just want to work with this in your central channel, so that you can fortify and coalesce within your central channel all that's coming up, and feel stable with these higher energies that are sort of rattling everything out all over town. Yeah. So all you have to do is imagine a pillar of strength, not unlike this. Pillar of strength coming through your central channel and anchoring you into the ground, so that you may hold firm in sort of jumpy times where people's nervous system is getting jacked up by the energy. Yeah. So let us just bring through some energy. Shabodo no no ke bodo no no ko borgo bono no no ke bedere ke bodo no no ke bodo nana kabara da 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 pashele bedege 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 shele bedege 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 barana na 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 shala bodo du 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 shala banana na 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 shala bodo du 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 shele banana na 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 kada da 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 shala barka bodo du 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 So just take a breath, yeah, take a breath. Knowing that some of the emotions, some of the energies, some of the energy that's been directed towards you potentially at this time um, is not always about the now moment, is not all about even your inner child or your childhood experience. It is karmic templating that has been with you for many lifetimes. And, we are being triggered so deeply now at a cellular level to release these old patterns so that we can free the ancestral karma within our beings, and so that we can free future generations and lift the consciousness to a higher level in the collective field. And so that means that there are people in different stages of trigger at different times. And this is always uncomfortable because we all like to have a mirrored, shared experience with another. Yeah? Especially if we felt that in our early years people didn't see us, people didn't acknowledge us for the deep soul that we were, or the energy that we brought forth, or just even recognizing who we were as a child. Yeah, so there is a desire for twinship and for similarity and like-mindedness and sharing a soul journey, which is why I think which is so valid, I think, in the communities that that we inhabit. Yeah, and this is an interesting piece, because as we open to more of ourselves, and as people are opened and triggered through their own soul astrological essence, if you will, in the different transits and the different energies that are coming in, then people go in different directions. Yeah, people are go in different directions at different times, and yet we are still looking for same similarity with other. Yeah, and so how do we stay present to ourselves, but also understand that someone else may at some point in the journey be going through a different experience, whether some people are feeling really elated or whether some people are feeling really in the doldrums, and so how do we not just discount the people that are having a different experience? And that is a tricky one, because everybody likes to align with people that resonate with them. But I think it's a falsity to think that we will always resonate exactly with anybody, and that we are constantly shifting, as is everybody else, as is every teacher, as is every plant, animal, mineral on the earth, as these energies come through. So, how do we stay in our own alignment, allow others to be in their alignment, without feeling affronted by it, without feeling like we have to trash their alignment or say that somehow this is better, that is not. It's a tricky experience, and how not to invalidate another during the process of evolution, if their evolution is in a different going on a different trajectory in a moment to yours. So much is coming up as it should be, so that we can release the density and lift the planet out of a certain state of consciousness. And that means that it's very bumpy, and people may act it out in ways that you don't like, or that feel unfair or feel disparate to who you perceive them to be. disappointing, of course, disappointing, but also to acknowledge the fragility of the human nature, the fragility of the human consciousness, to have a certain mechanism of seeing the world through your own lens, and then feeling somehow defensive or threatened if someone is perceiving in a different way. I mean, I guess at the end of the day right now, it's how do we hold on to who we are? How do we hold on to who we are in amongst other people's projections, in amongst other people's triggers, in amongst our own triggers and projections, you know? And you know, there was so much turmoil, chaos, and bloodshed at the downfall of the mystery schools, yeah? That we are reliving some of those chaotic moments energetically, I feel, at the moment. And some of us may be even connecting with some of the energies from back then as we move through the next 2 to 3 weeks, yeah, into the Lion's Gate, yeah. So, it's good to keep breathing, yeah. Yeah, it's good to keep breathing. I just want to work with another Tiger's Iron piece. This beautiful unicorn, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to see in this light, but it's got sort of yellow flecks on it. Yeah. I'm just going to work with the throat chakra. And this is for purifying speech. Purifying speech, because there's so much deep visceral energy coming out or up, potentially connected with the clearings, that there's a desire to speak the truth. Let us find ways of compassion and ways in wisdom that we can share our message without blasting someone off the planet, shall we say. Okay. Jondo doro gode bedu shele bodu da de burka bada da gubundur ke bada da dandoro ko bada ki parka sholo barki pete kanda ka pokote pata nanaka shele de kuboti anda da kaporki anda da kaporki anda da shondo ronda de ki pata nanaka pata nanaka shala botona nanaka ko to te ki pata nanaka shonda de ke pata kanda de ke pata nanaka ka kanda ka shondo to to kanda kanda anda kanda kanda ka pata ko kanda ki shangan andar burki andar kar do nanaka. So take a breath. So I feel the unicorn magic is really useful right now, because yes, some people may think, oh, how sweet, how innocent, how naive, yeah, to be working with unicorns and crystals. But you know, they are here to help hold the space for us. They are here to help lighten the frequencies. They are here for us to use as tools from the days of Lemuria, Atlantis, and beyond. So don't shit on the innocence, really. I think that's important to say. Don't shit on the innocence of your tools, of your skills, of who you are, just because others are confronted by purity. Yeah? Yeah. I posted a unicorn earlier today, a lime jade, beautiful one. That one is also available. You can connect with those. You can also connect with Tiger's Iron through me, or find some yourself. I think a powerful grounding and strengthening crystal at the moment to help you stabilize your core while all this energy is sort of spinning up and out, yeah? So just really sending heartfelt love at this time when it's so kind of turbulent, and also potentially ecstatic, depending on where you're at. So if you do resonate with this time of the year, if you do resonate with Egypt, and it would feel useful for you as a soul, I invite you to join me for the 30th of July, precursor to the 8-8 portal, I feel, for my work, around reclaiming your Egyptian magic. Now, I feel like what I've been going through, partly in the last few days, as well as the higher frequencies coming in, is the purification of my vessel in preparation for this event. As many of you know, I often go through a process prior and an upliftment prior to the workshops that I hold space for, so that my body and my vessel are ready to channel through the frequencies that are to come through. I have to do some work, density clearing, and for me personally, I'm in a very emotional being, and that's how I work, and that's how it comes through me. Yeah. So clearing my electromagnetic field, doing a lot of deep work to prepare for this event. So, and the depth that has been coming through in the last couple of weeks, I feel that it's going to be a jump and an octave higher, and a clearing and a releasing for those participants, whether online or in person here in the Sunshine Coast. So if you feel drawn, or you know anybody that would be drawn to that event, I invite them to turn up and experience the energies and help them connect with their royal lineage frequency, and release the fear that is held in their system around stepping into their magic, or the persecution around their priestesses of Egypt. This is a profound neutralization, I feel, of the Egyptian timeline, so that we can step forward much more profoundly in the future months, because we have been invited to step further into our mastery. You know, it started with Thoth in the 777, anchoring and opening the emerald heart, and now we continue with some of the other deities, other beings that were around at the time of Egypt, to support us to come back to our essence, to reclaim soul fragments, and to become more holistic in who we are as a soul in this physical body, so that we can bring in the magic and activate the hand chakras, and open the third eye, and become those divine portals of light for ourselves and others at this time. And at the same time, anything that is not of purity and the innocence is going to be rattled, and that will play out in different ways. Internally, externally. Yeah. So, any thoughts, any questions before I head off? I'm just looking at the comments now. Give me one sec. Segment, yeah, has been coming in strongly. Yeah. So the other piece, which I mentioned earlier, I think around the new moon, was just around the children. Obviously, there's a lot of energy, a lot of whoop up around the movie that we all know about, that's come out recently, and that is also highlighting that theme, which also ties back to Egypt, which I will also be gently, with compassion, working with in that workshop. So if you are if you're an abuse survivor, or if you are connected with saving the children as a narrative, as a frequency, as a knowing, or even wanting to support the evolution of the planetary consciousness, and the calling forth of the return to innocence of the child within, but also the children coming forth, so that the new activated seeds that have been birthed at this time with super high electromagnetic fields can be supported by the tribe coming forth, because of the high frequency that they're coming in. There is a lot of neurological, some would say disorders, some would say neurodivergent is the new term, isn't it? Very trendy term. But this is also because their neural network is more advanced than the energetics of the planet. As the energetics of the planet shift as we do release the density, these beings will find it easier to exist on the earthly plane. But at this time, they come in with such an intensity that many will be medicated. And sometimes, for some, that may be the only way to transition into teenage years, adulthood, because of the support mechanisms aren't there for them. Yeah, at this stage. But so not to be, it's heartbreaking, but it's also part of the evolution and what they signed up for. But to know that we are holding space for a higher frequency coming in, that then will allow their neurological system to relax more into alignment with the frequency of the earth. And then it's almost like this tight ball which is held around the pineal and at the top just kind of relaxes a little, and they feel at peace, you know. So what is termed a disorder may simply be an energetic mismatch, should I say, to the times we are living in. And you know, there's a narrative that wishes to obviously make these beings somehow unwell. So we are being guided to hold space and lift frequency and be the guardians of the new souls of Mother Gaia. So thank you for watching this. I hope that it has been useful at this time. I hope you can join me on the 30th. Kind of a mishmash all over the place this morning, but just pieces that wanted to drop in. Sending you my love. Hoping you're having a good day. Reach out if it's tricky. I've got some one-on-one space if you want. It's big times, guys. Much love. Have a beautiful day.